Welcome to Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror movie, and they discuss it. Today, we're talking about the 1979 film The Amityville Horror, which was directed by Stuart Rosenberg. I'm your co-host, Alec.
I'm Eric, and with us is a very spooky guest, Hunter Miller. Hunter, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Hunter, you're the first member of either Eric or my family to be on the podcast here.
I was gonna ask if anyone else, family-wise, has joined yet, but I'm glad to be the first.
Definitely our youngest guest, I would say, too.
Yeah,
Well, I'm a '90s kid, so
Straight up.
technically,
90s.
Hunter was born in 1999. You are technically a 90s kid. We'll give you that.
yeah. No, I'm definitely not a '90s kid. It is a simple inside joke to annoy these guys, but
You are on the council, but we don't give you the rank of 90s kid.
yeah.
But yeah, Hunter, you are my oldest cousin, and we live together. So this is cool. I'm doing a podcast with somebody who's literally on the other side of the wall right now, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
So we watched this movie together 2 nights ago, and this was the first time you had seen it. And Eric, you've seen this movie at least.
No, this is the first time I saw it.
Shut up! You've
No
never
way.
seen this?
Swear to God, I never saw this.
What?
Nice.
Yeah, I always wanted to see it, and I always felt like I kind of know the story and stuff. But man, it was what I thought it was going to be, and at the same time, wasn't. So
See, I don't want to be the only newbie, so I'm glad that you hadn't
I'm
seen
with
it
you,
either.
dude. Us
Nice.
90s kids gotta,
No way, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Eric, I thought you would have seen this at least a couple times as a kid. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah. So I've seen this a few times, and then Hunter, you had seen the Ryan Reynolds one, the remake.
Yes, the 2015 or 17 edition, whichever year it came out, pretty recently though.
Okay, and now after seeing both of these, do you have one that you prefer more, or?
I'd probably realistically, I have to say, I think I like the newer one more, just because obviously they have the newer technology and the stuff just to make it give you that really dark, eerie feeling. But at the same time, I'm conflicted too, because this 70s edition, I feel, really was able to capture that feeling too, while not having any of that advanced technology that we have today.
Yeah, no, I love that there's no CGI. I know you were asking me, so you're like, was that computer? I was like, no, man, there's no computer. There's no computer.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so that's why I feel like for enjoyment wise, I would get more enjoyment out of watching the newer edition. But honestly, well, now that I think about it, I gotta go with the '70s version. I really do think I like that edition more.
Flip flopper o'clock. I
Yeah.
never saw the Ryan Reynolds one, but I will watch that one. So for a couple things. So I think it's really crazy that the real life killer of the guy who shoots up his whole family,
Yeah.
the real life
Mhm.
story, he just died like 2 months ago
Really?
in
Wow.
prison. Yeah.
Oh
I
shit.
didn't know that.
So that's like pretty recent news. A lot of people don't know though that he was also on heroin and LSD too. So
Wow.
I mean, it's like they definitely that doesn't focus on the killings. It focuses on the family that moves in afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I always liked that. It was cool, and I like this movie a lot. 79, Alec, right?
Yeah.
19.
Yep.
Okay, I feel like this movie is like a template for other horror movies.
Yeah.
Really gave me some Poltergeist vibes.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
So-
said to Hunter when we were watching, I was like, try
Yep.
and pretend like you've never seen The Conjuring, you've never seen any other
Mhm.
like possession house movie, because this has a lot of, I don't know, like cliches, I guess, that from the 70s. But now, if you've seen this for the first time, you're like, this house is special. Like, whatever, it's not a big
Yeah.
deal.
While we were watching it, I remember you had said you were like, "Oh my gosh, I could just see this like as the foundation for so many horror movies that have come out since then." Yeah, I think they just nailed it with that, with the direction they took it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's not. I didn't think it was like very scary, and I do think I forgot how long it is. I didn't know it was 2 hours long. It kept my attention more this time than it had in previous years. I remember really being scared of it when I was a kid, and then I saw it again like 3 years ago, and I was like, "This is bad. The ending is horrible." And then watching it now, I'm kind of like, actually, I liked it more. The ending's still so stupid, but everything else is kind of like, his progression into madness. His makeup is fantastic. It is pretty decent score. I mean, just creepy shit keeps happening, but I don't know. I do have a couple things to pull apart, but I'm glad you liked it though, Eric. I'm glad you liked it, Hunter, too.
I did like it a lot. It's also crazy for me. This is by far the most tired I am doing one of these podcasts. I'm not complaining. I'm just noting I am very tired. And it's because I started watching this at like 12:30 at night, which is funny, not funny, but it literally ended at like a little before 3:15. So I'm like, okay, I made it. You know,
That's brutal.
if I watched it and I looked at my clock and said 3:15, I would lose my shit. But
Well, can
yeah,
you think of
that
other movies though, Eric, that had the 3:15 in it?
say
Like,
Emily Rose is the
yes.
only one that came to mind. Yeah,
I would have no idea.
it's the witching hour. That's when all
Mhm.
the witches go in the woods and do their
Yeah.
cauldrons.
Well, because 'cause they're saying, like, in The Conjuring, like, the 3 knocks is, like, mocking the Holy Trinity, and 3 AM is, like in The Conjuring, the same thing, like, that's when the demons come out, and you're like, "Alright, so what's up with 3 AM and 3:15?" And Paranormal Activity, same thing. It's all 3 AM. What's up with that?
The witching hour.
Something about it. It's 3
Yeah.
a.m.
Used to work security at that time, dude, and I hated when it hit like 3 AM. I'd be like, ugh, like, just take me away, demons. Like,
That's
Well,
an
speaking of demons, I feel like that's what I enjoyed so much. I agree with you, Alec, completely. Like the ending, I think they botched for sure, but
ugh.
I think they set it up so well just with the progression of the evil and this whole like demon mentality kind of coming into play. Like just the whole, you can see the looks on each person's face, and then throughout the movie, they just get worse and worse and worse for each character. So that's definitely one of the aspects of this film that pops out to me for sure.
Well,
yeah.
especially George. George just looks like shit at the end of the
Yeah.
movie.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
The start of the movie, I'm like, dude, this guy's a stud. And then it goes straight to him looking like he has the flu.
oh,
Bad.
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like, he's kind of possessed, I guess, but, like, he just becomes such a dick, and then all he wants to do is chop wood and just looks tired and pissed off, but yeah, dude,
yep.
movie starts off just happy family. We got a really nice new happy family, and they got a house for a steal, they know what happened in there, but, like, nothing's gonna happen to us. I will say, though, it's a little weird how it jumps for 1 month ahead, and then nothing happens.
Hmm.
Hunter and I noticed one thing too when we were watching it where it's just like first day, second day, or whatever, and it's not the
Hmm.
first day they lived here, it's like the first day that he's been possessed.
Yeah,
So like the
exactly.
first time there was like a paranormal experience. The second time there was a paranormal experience. Like and not like in order like day one, day two.
It just says,
Well,
like 'cause it jumps around a bunch too, it's like day 17 randomly, you're like, "Oh,
Did the
I
paranormal stuff start happening after the guy tried to bless the house? Was that
yes."
when oh, so he tries to bless the house and that woke it up.
That's
I'm
what I
guessing.
gather, yeah. What do you
I
think, Hunter?
think whenever the scene is with those flies, which gross the shit out of me, happens, that's what I assume to be the demon, I guess you could say, coming into play in this movie. And that's exactly when you see George start
Mm,
to have the effects. And then the first time he speaks to the pastor about it, the pastor immediately starts having those effects as well. So the timing and time skips are weird for sure, but and can be confusing, but I think they paced it in a pretty well timed
mhm.
way.
Yeah, well, I mean, the house is also the portal to hell.
Yeah.
Like, there's a doorway to hell, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
the main point of the movie, and this priest is going to this house to bless it. And,
yeah,
like, the equivalent of, like, "Hey, I'm a priest, I'm gonna go," it's like if Pee Wee Herman was gonna go box Muhammad Ali. It's like, it's not gonna go well, pa like, "Father, you're gonna go into the portal of hell and try to be like, 'Here's my crucifix, here's my little holy water thing.'" Like, it's not gonna go well, and
Well,
that's what happens.
let me ask you this,
yeah.
why the priest wouldn't you think the priest would have all gone there after the DeFeo murders, like, from the beginning? They would have gone there, been like, "We gotta bless the shit out of this house," and then,
Yeah,
whatever, so they didn't do that, and then the priest comes over to do it, and so many flies come and attack him, but here's the thing, the entirety of the movie is just this guy's life falling apart. His
yeah,
coworkers think he's crazy, they're like, "Whatever, you're some psychologist, get the fuck outta here," and he's yelling, crying, then he goes blind, then he almost dies in a car crash. It's like just him going into that house has completely ruined his life.
exactly. It's like it almost seems like he doesn't even question that himself, and as a priest, you think he would. Maybe that's them just like kind of trying to almost in a way overdo it to the point where it's like, hey guys, this priest has this in him now, and we want to make that very apparent to you. But yeah, I exactly like you said, Alec. It just everything is just going downhill from there from that point on.
Mm. I was gonna say to Alex's point, you'd think like he'd show up and bless the house. We see that detective at the beginning or whatever, who is like a character in the movie, not as much as the priest. Why wouldn't it be just the priest? Get rid of the detective character, make the priest try to bless it, and then just follow him more than that detective. You know?
I kinda liked how there's 2. I kinda liked it
Yeah.
with the religious side, and then we also get, like, the real side,
What's going on here? Like
Yeah,
I need to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, I
just
kinda
fair
like
point.
that. But also the priest, dude, I love how it's the guy from Jaws too, and he's also
Yeah.
questioning it. He's like, "We're not gonna close the beach because of a ghost or whatever." He's like,
Yeah.
"What are you talking about?" No, but, yeah, I do that scene where he freaks out, he's like, "I am a man of science, I am a man of God," and he's, like, freaking out. I was like, "Alright, this guy brought it all to this role," especially when he goes blind, that whole, like, screaming speech he's giving in the church. This dude this dude is bringing
A
110
game.
to this
Yeah.
fucking movie, dude.
Yeah.
I liked his character, I like that whole thing. But Eric, do you remember in Scary Movie 2 with James Woods and he goes to bless the house and all the flies are on him because he's taking a shit?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
that
from
that
this.
that's yeah, what that's from, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always
There's
thought that was
also
kinda
there's
funny.
also flies in The Exorcist too, I remember. There's, like, flies here and there.
I was gonna say I thought The Exorcist had flies in it as well.
They did.
I think flies are just supposed to represent, like, evil, like, they're just supposed to be there. Alright, so I guess just to give, like, a little timeline here. The murders take place in 1974, the DeFeo
Yeah.
murders. Then a
Mhm.
year later, the house goes on the market, and this family, the Lutz family, moves in, and George Lutz resembles the DeFeo murderer a lot
Yeah.
like him, so everyone's like, "What the hell?" So, this family moves in, shit starts going down, and then George clearly gets possessed by it. I'm assuming the priest comes and kind of, like, awakens it, and then the possession happens with George and starts repeating itself, and then he's gonna slowly start to kill his family. And you see him chop the door down. It looks a lot like The Shining. You're like, "Whoa,
Mhm.
this is a little reminiscent." But it's interesting too because the Warrens, this is the Warrens case. They were involved in this too. They just don't involve them in this version of it. But this is kind of what The Conjuring is really based off of. Is this?
Yeah, it has a lot of
Did you
similarities.
catch the Raggedy Andy doll?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, shit, Annabelle."
Yeah, Eric or Hunter and I, we saw that too. The Get Out thing too, I love that. That's a very,
Yeah.
like, notorious horror thing, and Eric, we talked about this a long time ago, but the Eddie Murphy
I was
stand-up where
just gonna bring that up, yep.
yep, that's from this, where it's
Yeah.
like white people go into a house and be like, "Get out." It's like, "You know what? I think we could set up here for a few more months," and then it's like black people walk into a house like, "Get out." It's like, "Alright, honey, let's get the fuck out of here." Like,
Yeah. That Delirious is great, and he's like, "Oh,
uh
there's blood in the toilet, that's peculiar." Like,
You could just even tell, I mean, in the beginning of the movie when they're speaking to the realtor, even she knows, like, something's up, and it almost seems like a cover-up in some sense.
Oh, for sure, because this house is, like, way under market value. It's like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
got a boathouse, it's got a little private house in the back that could be a guest house, it's got this huge house, and I love and we talked about this too, Hunter, it shows the eyes of like, the window
I
eyes
love that.
literally, like, 100 times in the movie. It's like,
Yeah.
"Remember, they're scary eyes, remember."
I wish I did a little bit more research. I wish I had more time to watch. So many documentaries popped up.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
there's
yeah.
one recent too.
I saw it. I saw the one from 2016 called My Amityville Horror.
That's the one I
Yeah.
was referring to in the beginning. Okay. Alright.
So,
That
that's
makes sense.
about one of the boys. It's about, like, in real life, like,
Mm,
one of the boys that was in, in the house, he
yeah.
grew up and, like, what this movie, what the books, what all that stuff did to him as a
Damn.
person. It's pretty
Mm,
interesting.
okay.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
makes a lot more sense from my perspective 'cause I hadn't had seen this movie, obviously, so,
Does the
um,
actual house in Long Island have like those eyes?
Yeah.
mhm.
Really? Okay, that was
Yeah.
gonna be I was gonna look that up, but yeah,
Yep.
that's
That's real.
that's that's cool. Not cool,
Yeah.
but that's like wow.
Yeah, dude. No, it's an interesting movie, and this, what is it? James Brolin, right? Yeah, James Brolin, which is Josh Brolin's dad, and then Margot Kidder, who, she was Lois Lane in the Superman movies, and dude, kinda tragically, she killed herself a couple years ago.
Yes, self-inflicted drug overdose. Yeah, in
Yeah.
2018. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty recently, and yeah, it's just kinda crazy. I guess she had a I read up about her. She had a pretty interesting life, man. Just kinda like it seems like a lot of, like, there's mental health stuff and drug abuse and
Mm.
just yeah.
I know
Feel
she was in
That's
like the
terrible.
Comic-Con circuit too, like doing conventions because she like I don't know. Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, I thought she
Yeah.
was awesome in this, and, obviously in Superman, she's really good, but yeah, it's just sad.
We're gonna move on. No,
Yeah.
what was I gonna say to you? So those 3 kids aren't George's, those are hers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
So
so George is the stepfather to all those kids.
yep,
Yeah.
exactly. So I imagine because she's very religious, like, she's
Yes.
very, religious, and I don't know if, they got divorced or if the dad took off or if the dad died. They don't talk about that.
What about Jackie, the, babysitter with the headgear? I felt bad for her. I think the ghost or the spirit would be like, "You know what? Jackie has headgear. I'm gonna let her
Yeah.
babysit." Like, I feel
Yeah,
bad.
let's give her a break on this one, alright? She's already got enough
Headgear
going.
must suck. must suck.
Dude,
Like
a piece of metal going around your head and you have to sleep with that somehow? Like, how is that
getting it
even
caught on like a tree branch, walking around, like anything. Like, ugh.
is
Yeah, so
that
like
more for your jaw than teeth or what?
I
Can't
think it's like a
imagine.
retainer from, like, the '70s. It was, like, before retainers went in your mouth or whatever. But so I wanna know, like, does the ghost just kinda, like, have his back up against it, and he sat there for, like, 3 hours just kinda like, "Ha ha 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 ha." Like,
Jody or whatever,
Like,
like, "Hey, I got this.
it's like, "Let her go,
yeah.
Jody." She's like,
She's gonna learn." It's like, "What do you let her you've been in it for 2 hours, like, let her out."
I know, I love that. Well, this is like the classic introduction of like the little girl or little boy or whatever child kind of talking to spirits, like in The Ring and The Sixth Sense and Paranormal Activity. And
Mhm.
every movie has a little kid talking to a demon, it seems like. And
Mr.
this,
Mr. Howdy or whatever from, Exorcist.
yeah, yeah, I guess that's kind of true. But she gets possessed so fast that you're just kind of like, okay,
Well, yeah, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, George's wife in this movie, though, she seemed to be a very spiritual person, obviously, but she seemed to almost like have this extra sense in a way. It's like because earlier on in the movie, she wakes up in that scene
Mhm.
at 3:15 in the morning, of course, and it's just having a PTSD episode, I guess you could say, of the murders, and as we said before, just keeps going down.
Yeah, she does have that dream where she jumps up. But like, what is happening in this house? Like, it's like a pig demon thing.
Is that supposed to be Jody?
I don't know. I don't know, cause like, it's the portal to hell, so you'd think this would be, like, the most horrific house ever, shit's happening all the time, but, like, nothing really that
Yeah,
bad happens. Like, even when they slam the windowsill on the kid's hand, it's like, "Isn't it weird that, like, his hand didn't break? Like,
Yeah.
why did that happen?" Like, you'd think that it
yeah.
would be, like, fucking them up, but, like, I don't know.
It's like the demon, like, slips everyone who walks in, like, a little ipecac. You know what ipecac is?
Yeah.
It, like, makes you throw like, everyone who leaves that house is like, "Rah! Rah!"
Is that the vomiting medicine
Yeah, yeah.
or whatever? Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
I
the
feel like
w
I
the
have
w
ipecac. I don't know, like
dude, when the nurse throws up, that
oh,
I laughed out
I
loud.
laugh too. I laugh.
It's
Well,
like,
also
"Ah!"
when the kid falls down the stairs,
Oh my
there's a
god.
Yeah.
huge edit issue. They must have messed up the film or something because
Yeah,
it jump cuts. He like hits the stairs and like the next shot he's at the bottom. Like ow!
yeah, and the light, like, blows up.
Yeah,
You're like, "Holy." Yeah.
it
No,
was
that was
funny.
hilarious. But yeah, there's moments like that where you're like, "Okay, so wait, like, the worst thing that really happened to anybody was the guy goes blind and, like, the car crash scene. Aside from that, like, nothing that bad happens to the family."
Yeah, it's the portal. It's the
Yeah.
portal to hell. I mean, except for the first family that was there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
what was gonna happen, but I wonder why it takes so long for them to, like the ghosts, like, get their shit together.
I mean, yeah, that is a good point, I guess. I enjoyed the build up thematic theme it almost had to it, just with family friends come over, and that wife is extra sensitive to like the paranormal kind of activity going on in that house as well, and it being a portal, and she's like, "No, hon, let's get out of here," type thing.
Hunter, this question's for
Mhm.
you.
Yes, sir.
Say I Airbnb this house in Long Island for a weekend, 2 nights.
Yeah.
We'll say Friday and Saturday, didn't give you Sunday. How low would it be for you to stay there those 2 nights, like, money-wise?
So
Give me a number.
obviously, I know about the events.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you know, like, "Hey, right now, Hunter, like,
Oh,
I'll pay
okay.
you blah, blah, blah
I
amount."
would
How much? What's the lowest you'd go? Like,
$50 per night.
you do 50? Oh my god, okay.
Jesus
Jesus.
Christ.
Okay, I'm very
Yeah, man.
impressed. You're okay.
I
The struggle is real, okay.
Yeah, the struggle is real, and I mean, this house, if it's a place to stay, I'll stay there. I don't
Shit,
What
care.
okay.
what about you, Eric?
Oh, dude. I'd probably okay. Today, let's say Airbnb. I do it for 5,000. I wouldn't go lower. I do it for 5 though.
Oh, you guys are fucking are you
How
I'm
kidding?
about
I'm
50 is where it's
struggling,
at?
but clearly not as bad as Hunter. I would do it for 5.
Dude,
Like that's the lowest I'd go. I'd expect more, but if someone's like, I'll give you $5,000 to stay in this house for 2 nights. First of all,
you guys are
I'm not
crazy.
I'm not
You guys
sleeping,
are
but I would do it for
crazy.
5. I'd do it for 5.
Dude, alright, so you've seen the movie, you see that people go blind from walking in the house. You were willing to do this for 50 and $5,000. Okay,
I
okay.
think 50 is
Yeah,
a
I
little
mean, it's like
ridiculous. So Hunter would do it for 100, but he was $50.
no, yeah, it'd be 100 total because it'd be 50 per night. But it's like yeah, it's like well, we're doing with COVID right now. We're just
Yeah,
taking a shot.
yeah.
Hopefully the flies don't come
As
out.
long as the demon's wearing the mask, we're good. You know, we're good.
Alright,
Yeah,
Everything's fine.
exactly.
alright, I have a question for both you guys too. End of the movie, you guys are leaving, and then all of a sudden your daughter just goes like, "Daddy, daddy, what about Shadow? Are you gonna go get Shadow?" What do you do, Eric?
Mhm.
Just don't say anything and keep going. No, I would absolutely get the dog. I would,
You would?
yeah, I would swim in that black pool of tar. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
100%
And
would.
then it starts biting you, like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah,
Are you
that's what
serious?"
it's like. I'm being the hero. It's like I'm gonna be the hero. I'm gonna my kids are gonna love me if I get you out of this house. Like, come on. And the dog's like, no, and it's like, no, you're coming with me.
What about Miley? You're like, "I haven't had her long enough, fuck her."
Yeah, Miley's in trouble. No, I'm kidding. I would absolutely, no matter what, I'd run back for that dog. Yeah.
Or, Hunter, what about Tika?
Hunter said he'd
Yeah,
do
no,
this for $50. He'd go in there for free.
yeah.
Yeah, like
I was gonna say, like Eric, I mean, dogs, we just don't deserve how
we
amazing
don't
they
deserve
are. So I would absolutely jump in there. And yeah, I'm just
them.
thinking of it like this German Shepherd just like starts biting him back, and they just both slowly drown in this pool. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, it's the ending to this movie.
Like Jack Pearson from This Is Us. If anyone watches This Is Us,
Yeah,
he runs back to the
yep,
dog. Yep.
Oh my
yep.
You
god.
gotta do it.
I
I
You
knew
mean,
gotta do it.
he pretty much
Yeah,
is in control of every situation after that. It would just be like, "Honey, take your feet off the couch," and he's just like, who got the dog at the end
Yeah,
of a
who like
fucking."
not traumatized their kids and
Yeah, and then, like, the day Harry dies, she's like, "Get your fucking feet off the couch now."
yeah.
It's like, "Ah, shit,
all
my
right.
dog."
One more question for you. So this at the time was the highest grossing independent film of all time. And
Wow.
it held that record until 1990. Hunter, my 90s boy.
Yes.
What movie beat the Amityville Horror for highest grossing independent film? What do you got?
Can I get one hint?
Green.
That's a fair hint.
Okay. Oh shit! What came out in the '90s? If it's early '90s, I'm actually screwed. But
1990, bruh, the year Eric and I are
All right,
born.
one more. Radioactive.
mm, mm, green and radioactive. I mean, I just like the fucking Hulk, but I know that came out in
Close.
2003, and like, there's no way that would have beaten
All right, last
Amityville
hint.
probably. But
Heroes in a Half Shell.
Ninja Turtles?
Yeah. That's like if
Oh,
you didn't get
really?
that hint, I'd be like, "You're not a '90s kid. You thought you were, but you're
Wait, so
not." Yeah, that was the independent film that beat it.
so correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a show. There's the show beforehand,
Yeah,
right? And then they created the movie, and
mhm.
that's the one that beat Amityville Horror.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
a
okay.
weird movie, though, because that I don't think that's independent.
Well,
Yeah,
I just think it's
that's
funny too
thing.
because what beat Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that held the record for like 7 years, beat by a horror
Wow.
movie, Blair Witch Project. So it went horror, like children's movie, horror, like you know what I
I
Wow.
mean?
know. It's still
Yeah.
so hard to imagine because, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were at, like, the height of their popularity in 1990, so it's like, how is this an independent film? Like, it's just kinda I don't know,
Yeah.
it's kinda strange.
I just think it's funny. It's just a little fun fact. It's
Yeah.
like you like, oh, Animated Horror, the highest grossing, just got beat by the Ninja Turtles. Like,
It's so weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's just looking at the stats and stuff. It's like they only spent 4.7 million and got 86.4 back. So it's like that's
mm,
okay.
Alright, had a little technical difficulty there, but we're back. So, neither of you have seen anything aside from Hunter, you seeing the Ryan Reynolds one, but Eric, you haven't seen any of the sequels, which there are a lot of, but neither of you seen anything, right?
nada.
Nope. Yeah, this was my very first time.
Alright, I saw the 4th one when I was a kid, when I was, like,
All right,
very
dude, I think you
young.
need a second job. I think you do.
No, no,
No,
no,
I'm
no, no, no,
kidding.
I was like 7 when I saw it, and it scared me so bad, and I'm looking it up right now. So, it was the one from 1989, it was called Amityville 4: The Evil Escapes, and basically what this one is they sell off the furniture from the Amityville house, and it goes back to, like, a bunch of different people's houses.
Oh my
So I remember when I was a kid, there was this one scene where there's, like, an evil lamp that has, like, a cord that, like, whips this little girl, and I was just like it scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid, and it stuck with me, like, literally my whole life, and I just looked it up right now, and I was like, "Which one was that?" I need to watch that again. I'm sure I can find it on YouTube
Are you
now.
god.
are you like scared of lamps or something? Like, what do you mean you're still
I
scared?
was I was gonna ask like what was the thing that got you so freaked out when you watched it as a kid, and you said the getting whipped by the lamp, but it's like the lamp or the whipping or like the sound or what was
I think it was just the fact that, like, household items could attack you, and it was just like,
it?
this little girl was by herself, and it was like a tall, skinny lamp with a big bulb, and it wasn't like a little lamp, it was a big lamp, and it's just, like, whipping the shit out of this kid, and I was just like, "Alright, like, fuck
I
this."
can see you being like,
That's so
this is
funny.
like evil brave little toaster, and you'd be like so scared of the brave little toaster. poster.
Dude, I was. I
No, you
was.
weren't.
Yes, I
No,
was.
you.
Dude,
Oh my god.
Eric, when he has the dream, like the firefighter dream, that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Oh,
Dude,
jeez.
I would skip it. I wouldn't even if it was on Disney Channel I would switch over to Cartoon Network until that movie was over when I was a kid. Because 'Cause I'd be like, "I don't even wanna
Gosh.
watch this fucking." Dude, I'm scared of, like, things coming to life that are, like, not I don't know, maybe
Not supposed to.
You tell your therapist, "I'm scared of appliances, like big
uh,
appliances with long cords, like, I don't like them. I don't like batteries, I hate."
I'm a scared.
Sorry to get off topic at all here, but I'm trying to remember
No,
um
please.
which scene this was, but it's I believe it was towards the ending when we were watching where it's a very intentional shot that zooms in on the cross upside down, pretty much when everything's gone to hell by that point, I guess literally. And like and you said in the beginning, Alec, he was like, "Hey, where do I put this cross?" Kind of like jokingly with the. I thought that was a really like cool kind of. That's the thing about this movie. There's so many little subtleties that build up to the overall, obviously the story of what it was, but that's definitely what I like the most about it and stuff. But I didn't know they made how many did they stop at 4 or how many movies did they make after? I would not counting the remakes. Like I guess would this be a canon like kind of 1 through 4 or
Oh, there's way more than 4, but yeah, that was canon. I think there's, like, 10 or 11.
wow,
Yeah, and I'm like, "Who's watching these? Who's watching these freaking movies?"
someone's got to be yeah.
Now there's, they consider The Conjuring part of this.
It
We're
does kick off with the
Mm,
second one kicks off with the Amityville Horror too.
Yeah,
that
exactly. So it is, like, a lot around this movie, and a lot of people think that this movie was just, like, a cash grab on the book, which people also thought was a cash grab on something that didn't really happen. It was, like, an orchestrated thing to get
mm,
press. So a
Yeah.
lot of people think.
Yeah,
Um
the loosely based on a true story, but it's like, was it though? Or was it just someone thought something and rolled with it, you know?
if you like possession, like haunted house possession movies, I think this is a good one to start with. Like it sets the map and the blueprint for what a lot of ones are gonna
Mm,
come, but like it's definitely not that scary. And there's a lot it's so long for like
well,
what it is.
mhm.
let me I want to ask you guys this from older perspective because you're both old asses now, but
Yeah, we are. It's true.
is this more entertaining to watch something like a horror movie from the late 70s, early 80s time frame than something today like Paranormal Activity, where it's like people are like, it's almost like a POV of their situation?
Yeah, for me, I prefer older movies, and, I think it's just there's more older films that I like. I still love new horror movies, and I think there's a lot of great stuff that's coming out, especially recently with A24 and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
for me, I really love 70s and 80s horror movies the
Mhm.
most. I think a lot of guilty pleasures. It's a lot of there's a lot of heart that went into it. It really set the blueprint for slasher films and exorcism movies and really set the standard for what's happening now. And I don't really like CGI very much. So I do like older stuff for that
Well,
reason.
before you give your answer, Eric, I just want to say it does almost set a standard, like you said, Alec. It's like if they could do this well of a horror movie in 1979 with the limited technology that they had and limited budget and be so successful, then there's no reason why there should be like 6 Saw movies and like the last 2 are just terrible. And it's just like, I don't know. It definitely set a bar of how good it is. And I definitely liked the film kind of feel while watching it as well. But go ahead, Eric. I want to hear for your opinion.
I like watching new and old. I like watching the older movies more in some ways because I get to see the derivative where things
Mm,
came from. I saw a lot of poltergeist in this movie. The storm at the end. And I just think of that storm with the tree with the kid and like them trying to it reminded me of Poltergeist. Like the
I've not
house is
seen
haunted.
Poltergeist,
Great
but
movies, Spielberg, more family friendly than this movie. This movie's dark, but I love the funness of it too. Like sometimes those older movies have like really terrible, cheesy acting and lines. Sometimes they have those jump cuts with the kids falling down the stairs, and it's like, oh, they screwed up in post or something. Someone deleted
yeah,
something. So I love that stuff, and also I think like you got to respect your elders in a way where it's like to make this back then is harder than making it now.
Oh yeah.
In a lot of ways, but like how the hell did they get all those flies on the window? Some poor production assistant had a bag full of flies, and some grape jelly probably, and like put it on the window. And then he's like, "All right, fly guy, let him out." And like he had to like let all these flies out, and like that sucks. But it's like
Yeah.
I appreciate you for doing that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think you have to get creative, and you have to come up with solutions that are creative, whereas, nowadays it's just like, "Yeah, just fucking CGI it, I don't care, just
Yeah,
whatever." Like,
like you
Yeah.
gotta get Ralph to just click After Effects twice, and then he does it. You know,
yeah,
like
it's
Yeah.
not like, "How are we gonna get all these flies?" It's like, "Alright, so if we get, like, pheromones from a fly and we rub it on the window, then." But seriously, like, that's what they would have to
Yeah.
do, and they're
that's why you gotta appreciate it more in
exactly.
some
That
ways.
and that's why I said it really did set a bar as well. Like, it set a bar for how good horror movies can be.
No, yeah, it's I love old movies, I especially love old horror movies, so they get me going. Well, Hunter, thank you so much for joining us for today and getting a youthful perspective on the
Yep.
Amityville horror.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys so much for having me, and I apologize to anyone if this was a more boring episode. I just got my second COVID shot yesterday, so I'm feeling a little tired, but
Oh,
hopefully I feel better soon. But
I had a lot of fun, Hunter. You were great. Thanks for joining.
thank you guys for having me.
Well, we gotta spin the wheel, Eric.
Oh my god, why do I always forget? I don't know. It's
We have
like
a wheel to spin.
we have things to do.
Wheels to
Spin that
spin.
We have responsibility.
You guys got a nice Facebook page going on too, I saw.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Are you gonna set us
Yes.
up with a Wheel of Horror TikTok?
We absolutely could do that. I don't have TikTok, but yeah, we have there is a official Facebook page. If you guys would like to go check it out, simply type in the Wheel of Horror podcast, and you will find it there. It's got the classic green logo. We got 18 followers as of recording, so come join early.
Woo! Yeah,
Come on
thank you.
down. Spinning the wheel. Spinning. Creep show.
Yes, really?
Really? Look, my screen.
Nice. That's awesome, dude. Joe Testa was just texting me about that this week. Hell yeah. All right, sweet.
Never saw
This
that
might
one.
sound bad, but when did Creepshow come out? I haven't heard of that.
I want to say it was like 88, I think.
Definitely 80s, right?
Yeah, 100% 80s. I want to say it was 88. Let me see. 82. Whoa, 82, way off. So we will see everybody next week for Creep Show with Joe Testa.
Peace out, guys.
Woo!